everyone, welcome back at Charlotte from At Charlotte's House. Today I am going to be sharing some of our tips and tricks for surviving tie-dye when kids are involved. We have been doing a lot of tie-dye and we have learned to keep the dye from getting all over, to create really colorful, successful pieces, and I hope you enjoy it. I would love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click that little bell icon so you will get notified when I share videos in the future, and I hope you enjoy. For the last few summers, my family has spent a week at a family camp in New Hampshire where they had their first experience with tie-dye. In New Hampshire, there were buckets of dye and the kids could dip their t-shirts into each one accordingly, but it was hard to control the dye, the colors were limited, and most importantly, it was messy. This weekend, we tie-dyed in our backyard, and here are my tips for tie-dye success with kids. Step 1, preparation. No matter how careful you are, tie-dye is messy. I recommend accepting that fact and setting yourself up outside on trays. I used both cookie sheets and plastic craft trays. I used this tulip tie-dye kit and it was great. Other things to consider when prepping your area. Is the table or floor beneath you porous, or will it stain with the dye? Assume there will be spills, so consider what your children are wearing when they tie-dye. Darker clothes or previously tie-dyed creations are recommended. The tie-dye kit we used came with gloves, but they were all a little cumbersome for the kids, so we just went without. Their fingers were a little discolored after tie-dyeing, but it washed off after a few washes. Tip number 2, choose your materials. 100% jersey cotton works best in my opinion. I suggest washing your items before tie-dyeing to remove the fabric sizing and help make them more absorbent. We were impatient and skipped this step, but you can see we used a water bottle to help the dye soak in a bit. Here's what I think is important: squirt bottles. You can buy them separately or get the kits like we used that include the bottles. The bottles meant there were less spills, the kids could control where they were spraying a little bit easier, and they could stick the tips of the squirt bottles into nooks and crannies as needed. Okay, the first one is a spiral. Lay your shirt flat, pinch one area in the front, and without letting go, just twist the shirt to create a spiral around that middle point. Use a few rubber bands to hold the twist in place. A bullseye. Lay the shirt flat and pinch where you want the center of the bullseye to be. Tightly wrap a rubber band around about 2 inches from the end. Repeat with another rubber band a few inches below your first rubber band, etc., etc. The more rubber bands you use, the more rings on your bullseye. Folding. To create squares, kind of like a shibori, fold your shirt like a fan. Once you have your folded strip of shirt, fold it again the opposite direction. Use 4 rubber bands to hold tightly in place. Alternate technique: instead of wrapping the rubber bands consecutively onto the shirt, making a t-shirt snake of sorts, just randomly wrap the rubber bands around handfuls of t-shirt. This will give you a bunch of rings. Scrunching. This is exactly what it sounds like. Simply ball up your fabric and wrap into a clump with rubber bands. The first round was really bright and vibrant, and then I topped off the bottles with water, so the second round was a little more diluted. Our tie-dye kit came with rubber bands, but you'll need a handful of those as well. I find that the medium thickness rubber bands are easier for the kids to work with. The super skinny ones are almost too stretchy, so it takes them forever to wrap it up tight, and the smaller, thicker ones are just too hard for kids to maneuver. Okay, let's get to tie-dyeing. Make sure your work area is covered as needed and the prepped t-shirts are on trays. I like that our kit came with so many colors, so we tried to split up the colors and gave everyone a couple of choices to start with. Then we let her rip. The kids were pretty good about controlling the squirt bottles so they didn't overdo it. I didn't give any guidance for the actual dyeing part of this project unless I noticed that they were spraying way too much and wasting the dye. I loved watching each child's technique and observing them problem solve and create. Our instructions suggested letting the dye sit for 6+ hours. We didn't let it sit for that long with either batch, but I will say the difference in saturation after the first batch was noticeable. So if you're going for a super bright, dark, vibrant color, let that dye sit for as long as possible. After a few hours, we rinsed our t-shirts until the water ran clear. Leave the rubber bands in place. Then came the fun part, pulling off all those rubber bands to see how it looks. I loved watching the eager excitement as each one of my kids revealed their shirts. They've been wearing tie-dye all weekend and are super pleased with themselves. The funniest thing to me was how each child approached their tie-dye and how their approach kind of matched their personalities. Louisa didn't have much rhyme or reason, but hers was amazing. Oliver was impulsive and squirted too much dye, but he still loves it. Eleanor was super methodical and created a beautiful rainbow. Martha took a long time and had a deliberate plan for each of hers, but they both kind of looked the same. And Arthur? He just liked squirting all the colors. Each of our t-shirts cost about $4, and the tie-dye kit itself was about $30, so it's pretty cost-effective. The kids had the best time, and I loved watching them think through each of their creations. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day, everyone.